What is going on, team? Welcome to another episode of the Thrive Forever Fit Show. Pardon my hair. I look like I've got like an ocean swoop. This is a surfer's dream you're staring at right here. I did not know it looked like this before I hit record. Nevertheless, that's not why we're here today. Today's episode is going to blow your mind. It is an interview with one of my clients. Her name is Jill. She is 60 plus pounds down in 5 months. That's not even the cool part. She's off antidepressants. She's off sleeping pills. She's got a zest for life now that she did not have before. Her story is going to blow your mind, guys. She had an extreme loss that had her stuck in her old story. She's now overcome that story. Losing weight has become easy. Those are her words, not mine. She's living life now instead of just surviving life. You are going to love, love, love this episode. Get yourself a beverage, saddle up, listen in, and get ready to be inspired. Jill is going to inspire you. She's inspired me, and I get to be around her on a daily basis. So get ready. Here we go. Enjoy. What is going on, guys? Welcome to day number 5 of the food fight. I want to thank you guys for participating up to this point and for spending your Friday, well, it's afternoon here, 2:30 here in California, but I know we got people, like I said last night, watching from all over the world. So wherever you are and whenever you are listening, thank you for listening. And we're going to have a great show today. Today, you guys are in for an unbelievable treat. I'm going to give everybody a little bit of time before I introduce our amazing guest today and tell you about all of her awesomeness. We'll give people a chance just to pop on. As you come on, guys, go ahead and give me a hello so I know who is watching. And then as you guys do watch on replay, just put hashtag replay for me. And that way we know who has participated in the show. What's up, Al? All right, we're going to give everybody about 60 more seconds, and then we're going to jump into some awesomeness for today because I do not want to cut today's guest short because she's amazing. What's up, JoJo? Hello, everyone who's saying hello. The people that I can't see your names, I hope you are doing awesome today, and thank you so much for joining us on a Friday. You are in for a treat. One of my favorite people is going to be with us today. 20 seconds, so we're just going to start because I'm too excited to wait on it. So hope you guys have enjoyed the show so far. So my goal in doing the food fight was to eliminate, if not all, at least some of the fears that you guys had around food and really the way that you looked at and focused on food. It's like I said 2 nights ago, and I said it again last night, and I'm going to say it again tonight. If you are consistently thinking about your weight, then we've got to make some changes. We've got to do some things differently. And that's really what this is all about. And that's really what the Ignite program that I pitched to you guys on Wednesday and then again last night is all about. The guest you're going to hear from today was actually a part of Ignite 2.0. So our very last Ignite, she was a part of that, had some unbelievable success. You're going to get to hear her story today, and it's going to blow your mind. I mean, I created this, and it blows my mind. It's so awesome, and I want you to know that this could be you. This can be you. This should be you. We have the ability, guys, to make monumental changes in simplistic ways. And today's guest is going to blow your mind with her story. We're just going to have a chat. Here's my philosophy on talking to people and interviewing people for the podcast and for interviews like this. I talk to people just like I would in a coffee shop or if we were in my backyard having a glass of wine and just hanging out. So we are going to just have a chat. But let me tell you about this person first. I'm going to give you some stats before I even tell you who she is. Some of you guys already know. Excuse me. So she joined the Wellness Lab in June of this year. So June of 2020, joined the Wellness Lab, same place you are right now watching this. And then in July of 2020, she joined Ignite 2.0. So our second launch of Ignite. At that time, she was weighing about 270 pounds. She then in August joined my Thrive Forever Fit program, which is my highest level of private coaching. And currently today, she is right around the 210-pound mark. Guys, that's 60 pounds in 5 months. Pause really quick. You should be high five in the air. So, I mean, this person deserves a hug, a high five, and all of the awesomeness that we could possibly give her. So you're about to meet Jill. Jill is not only an amazing human, but she's just one of the sweetest, kindest, most thoughtful people that I know. And that's part of what we do here in this group. That's part of what all my programs are really about, is connecting and getting together with the best people on the planet. For some reason, the universe, God, has granted me with the best clients on the planet. Like everybody that is in my Thrive Forever Fit program, everybody that enjoys my Ignite program, and you guys here in the Wellness Lab, you're just the most phenomenal humans that I've ever met. You're so kind and thoughtful and empathetic. And it's a blessing for me to be able to have you as part of my life. And today you're going to meet one of my amazing, most famous and important people. And I say famous because I think we're all famous, right? Everybody here is famous to me because you guys are so important. You're so valuable. And I want you to have that sense of pride. You guys are the celebrities in my world. I don't like celebrities. I don't need autographs from movie stars and baseball players and football players. I want you guys to win. You guys are the ones I'm watching. All right, let's bring her on. Hello, Miss Jill. How are you doing?
How are you?
I'm awesome. Guys, this is weird sometimes when I bring people on the screen and they're like, uh-oh, what do I do now? So Jill and I are just going to have a chat. And you guys, if you have any questions, drop those in the comment section on the side. And Marissa will be grabbing those. She'll put them in the private chat. I'll ask Jill those questions because that's what really this is all about. You've heard from me for 4 nights now. You don't need any more of me telling you about food and this and that. You need to hear from real people that have worked with me. And so, Jill, you joined the Wellness Lab in June. And then let's just have a chat. Like, what's your experience been like since clicking a free Facebook page and now we're all here and we're basically family?
It is. It's a big family. My friend Amanda, who invited me into the Wellness Launchpad. She'd inspired me. I hadn't seen her since lockdown and saw her like in May and was like, oh my gosh, like, what did you do? And I know she shared we'd briefly met you in 2019 at a happening in Mastro's and that. And I hate to say I don't really remember you much. I do
Jill,
remember Lori.
That is hurtful, Jill.
I'm sorry. I remember Lori. She was sitting beside me and she was the sweetest thing on the face of the earth.
You know what?
I still have her in my phone as Lori from Mastro's.
She's so nice and she's so pretty and listen, I'm easily forgettable when she's around. So I'll take that as a compliment.
Sorry. But she had told us that her husband wrote a book and that, and Amanda got on it. She looked for it. I downloaded it, and I hate to say I didn't do much with it, like most of us do. Yeah. And then, let's see, March, Amanda, for my birthday, gave me The Purpose of Pain, to which I wanted to really throw it in the garbage.
I think you sent me a couple of dirty. You sent me a couple of mean DMs. They weren't mean, but they had some like roughness to them.
There's some hurt in there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what would this guy know about my pain?
Yeah.
Like, and how could this book help me?
Right.
But I did. I kind of glazed over, sat on the edge of the Wellness Launchpad. And then you offered Ignite 2.0. Mm-hmm. And it was life-changing.
Wow.
Is the best I can say. It started July 27th. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I figured, what did I have to lose?
Right. Well, and you lost a lot. I mean, I'll say, like, whenever I look at these numbers, like they almost don't make any sense. I mean, you're over 60 pounds down. I bet if we put you on the scale today, you'd be below 60 pounds lost. And It's just
Yeah,
unbelievable.
we're closer to 70 now.
I mean, that's so cool. Tell me about that really quick. What does that feel like?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And as I said before, it was easy.
But yeah, you said so. Jill and I
And
had a little chat before, and you said, "Jay, I don't want to say this," and I'm like, "No, say it." You're like, it's easy, and it's supposed to be easy, Jill.
I was looking for something so hard, like it
I
has to
know.
be hard to succeed, and it hasn't been.
Yeah.
And when people ask me what I'm doing, it's so hard to describe. I'm changing my mindset. I'm changing the way I approach things. I'm changing from the inside out,
Yeah.
and the weight is coming off.
It's like a side
I
effect,
think
right?
it's a side effect. I think I lost 60 pounds of baggage.
You did. You really did. And I think
I
that's important to say. You did.
I have filled almost two large notebooks of journaling,
Yeah.
and it's amazing. I I I don't know. You made it simple. You took all the fear, all the hardness out of it.
Yeah. Well, I think we hit the nail on the head. This is a family, and like when you work with somebody, like I think a lot of people are used to this, right? They've done diets before, and some
Mm-hmm.
people have actually done like therapy before, and so or like had a nutrition counselor before. This really isn't like any of that. Like if when you interact with me, like what you guys have seen this week is really the human that you get on a Monday, on a Friday, at 2 a.m, at 10 at night. Like I am just authentically this all the time. And it's just, I think that's the only way you can really make a change for people is like, if you have to be able to trust me, because I think I want to make a big point. I said either last night or not before last that there's so many books written about like weight loss and transformation, and we can all read those till we're blue in the face. But it's not until, and you've had both of my books. It wasn't until you actually started like connecting with me and me letting me support you and letting me hold you accountable and letting me tell you the truth about some of the things you were thinking and going through,
Mm-hmm.
that stuff started to change. And sometimes, like you said, you said this to me before we got on the call. You're like, Jay, it was supposed to be hard, and it wasn't hard, and that was a little bit weird.
Yeah, it wasn't hard. Did I want to hear some of the things you had to say? No.
Nope.
You and I've exchanged a few DMs that I pushed back on.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It made me think a little harder myself on
Totally.
what I wanted, where I wanted to go. My journey was a little different than other people's. And I truly believe I hit this when I needed it the most.
Yeah.
I likely, when I met you the first time, I wasn't ready to hear it.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have done me any good.
Totally.
Once I was ready, those books were just read within 2 days.
Yeah.
Like,
I think you've made
light bulbs started going off.
You've made an important, you said something really important there too. It's like, this isn't me just telling you guys, I'm not like a show up and throw up kind of coach. Like, it's not just do it my way. There's one way for everybody. Like you said, your journey is not like Amanda's journey. It's not like JoJo's journey.
Nope.
It's not like Al's journey, but it's all of our journeys coming together collectively, and we support each other and hold each other accountable. And I think where this is a little bit different is I have you trust me enough now to know that even if I do tell you something you don't want to hear, you know I love you. You know it's said with compassion and empathy, and you know it's because I know that it's what you need to hear. And I think that's why it works. And I think that's an important thing for people to realize.
Yeah, you've said two things that have really stuck with me. And one was at the beginning. I was messaging you and having a bad day, and you said, I've got you. And in my journey, it's been a long time since I've had someone who's got me. I mean, I have an amazing family. My girls are there for me, my son-in-laws, my friends. But to have someone actually type those words meant the world to me.
Aw.
and I knew you cared.
Yeah.
And the other one that I think I wanted to punch you in the face if I would have been close enough to you, which was a little mean. I'm sorry.
No, I
You
like
told me
honesty.
I could only change myself,
True.
and you didn't let me wallow when I wanted to wallow,
Yeah.
and it's a struggle. It's not an easy thing every day, but it is. I can only change myself. I can only change how I react to every situation.
Yeah. And I think let's talk about the power of, because I see, when we do these Ignite programs where, there's 50 people in this group, right? And then in the other group there's over 100. But what are your thoughts on like the support and the accountability and the importance of that? I mean, I see it, but I'm looking at it from a really top level view, because
Yeah.
I'm managing so many different personalities. How do you look at it from someone who's like in the arena with all of these people?
It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing, the support. I share a lot of my private thoughts on our page, and I feel safe, which is
Yeah.
wonderful. It is amazing. There's never any judgment. There's nothing like that. Usually I'm met with love. If I'm having a bad day and I say I'm lonely and everything, it's like the love that comes pouring back to me is incredible. And not just on the page. You'll get a DM from someone. It might be an emoji, it might be a heart, it might be whatever. But the support, we rally around each other and lift each other up, which is so amazing. And the accountability part, I thought that might be hard, but it's not like you go, you have to have something posted by such a time at this, that there's no, can I say there's no rules and regulations? There are some really good guidelines.
Yeah, you know what? I said this I was doing a private coaching call the other day, and a client kind of asked me that very same thing. They're like, Jay, how do you, we have guidelines, we have these things that I want you to do, but it's like, how do you manage that? And I said, I've got this really unique, I don't even know if I wouldn't call it an ability, but it's almost like an intuition. Like I know who needs what when they need it. And I don't even know how I know that, but I know when someone hasn't posted for a couple of days or when I can read through a post that they do put up and I know that there's something going on. That's what this is more about. Like, I think the rigidity and the strictness of saying to you guys, like, if you don't do this, it's not going to work. It's like, this is, like I said, it's not linear. We're here as a team. We're going to support each other and hold each other accountable. And the vulnerability and honesty that we can have inside of this group is so amazing. And I think that's what attributes to its success, because if I was like this, like drill sergeant to each and every, you have to coach everybody differently, right? Like the head football coach doesn't coach every play. Like Tom Brady doesn't get coached like the third string quarterback does, or like the offensive guard does. Like everybody has these little special things they need. And that's my job to figure that out and make sure that I'm doing what I can do to make sure you get what you need.
Yeah.
And then together, you guys will support the crap out of each other. It's awesome.
We do. We support each other. I love reading through everyone's gratefuls every day. I think that's been life-changing. Yeah. I have always felt blessed, which is kind of a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, I lost my husband 3 years ago, 30 years together. But I felt blessed through life.
Yeah.
Life has always shown up for me. But to actually write down your gratitudes every day, what a way to start the day. Yeah. Like it sets the tone for the day.
Yeah.
And like you said, sense when we can. When I do encouragements, it is so cool when I get them back and people go, you don't know how much I needed that now.
Yeah, it's that boomerang effect I talk about. Yeah.
Yeah. Like those are the things that make such a difference. It really isn't about the food.
Yeah. The food kind of gets, like you said it 3 or 4 times. The food gets easy whenever you get all the other stuff out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
if you don't mind, and I know you don't because you're so vulnerable and so awesome and so honest. Like, losing your best friend, your husband, is a significant impact, right? Like
Hmm.
that's most people can't even conceptualize that. And so, of course, you went through a period. I mean, you gained weight, right? That was kind of like your
I
defense mechanism.
likely, yeah,
Yeah,
I have no clue what I gained. I
yeah.
don't even want to know.
No, and it doesn't matter. That's the point. It doesn't matter. That
No.
was you were kind of holding on to that, and you said it had been you lost a lot of baggage. You lost a lot of, a lot of sadness and a lot of those things.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you're still not, grieving that loss, but you're a much different person, Jill, today than you were in June of 2020.
Oh yes. I actually came up with a new way of describing. I'm gratefully grieving.
I love that.
If I didn't have the love of my life, which a lot of people never experience,
Yeah,
I wouldn't have the sorrow.
totally.
So how can I not be grateful for what I had?
Yeah. Well, you're a lot like
And
me. Like I lost my father when I was 5 and really didn't even know him, right? Because at 5 you don't have really a
no,
great, it's not a long time, right? Because your
no,
first couple of years you're just pooping and eating, and that's, you don't even know what's going on. But for me, I look at that loss as like I wouldn't be here today doing what I'm doing in this way that I'm doing it and be able to impact and help and all those things if I hadn't have gone through that. You know what I mean? So I'm a lot like you. I'm grateful for the experience of what I've gone through, because it's made me a completely different human and given me the
hmm
opportunity to bless other people's lives.
yeah. You had said something to me once when I was a little down, and it was use that energy, the love that Vern and I had for good, sort of thing. And I do now. I often, if I'm having a bad day in the gym or when I just don't want to do something, it's like, no, no, my husband showed up every day.
Yeah.
I am slowly but surely building that same integrity. I show up for myself. I feel like he's sitting on my shoulder up in the corner, just
Perfect.
cheering me on. And I'm going to be an awesome mom for my girls. I'm going to be a leader of our family, which I never had to be.
Yeah.
I was always I was a good mom. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that, but I let a lot of things fall to Vern, and I honestly, when all this happened, I felt, what do I have to offer my kids? You know, but through this journey, I'm learning I've got a lot to offer. I'm learning to love myself.
I love that.
I'm learning to be proud of what I do. I've become much, I've stopped lying to myself. Like you say, we lie to ourselves.
We
And
do.
I'm like, oh crap, I was really good at it. I think I actually had a degree in it. And that, but what my kids this summer, I'd set a goal. I was walking around our lake and they're like, we didn't see you all day. And I'm like, it only took me 4 or 5 hours. But like I think they were a little shocked. I did it. I
Yeah.
did what I said I was going to do. And through this journey, I'm learning how important it is to show up for yourself,
That's
to
so
do
true.
what I'm going to do. And it's part of the integrity I'm learning to have now.
I love that. You're keeping promises that you're making to yourself, and that's valuable.
Yeah. Yeah. Set some new goals, keep some promises.
So what's next for you, Joe? What's the plan?
I don't know. That's kind of exciting. I'm in for the next Ignite. I can't wait for that.
Yep.
That
And
one's
I'm so
gonna be
glad. I'm so
fun.
let me pause there, guys. Most people in Jill's situation. She joined the Wellness Lab Launchpad, joined Ignite 2.0 at 270, joined Thrive Forever Fit. She's lost 60 pounds. What would the average person say? I got this. Like I've lost 60 pounds. I don't need support. I don't need Jay. I've
Yeah.
heard this guy talk since June almost every single day, right? Like I've had enough. what are you doing here? Like, why are you still here?
You're my family now. This is my family. I have way more to learn. Like I said, some days you go, oh yeah, I'm doing pretty good here. But you know what? I've got a long ways to go. Weight-wise, I have no clue where I'll end up. I don't really know, and I don't really care.
Yeah.
I want to grow stronger. In the 5 areas we talk about, like faith is huge to me. That's grown exponentially. Family, major part of my life. Fitness was not. It's coming. I actually crave moving now.
Yeah. Can we pause right there? Because I think people think, if I say this lady lost 60 pounds, I bet some people are thinking, oh my gosh, she must have started CrossFit. She must have started running marathons. She must have started like riding 1,000 miles. Tell people what you do for a workout, Jill.
My workout's pretty.
No, I want you to be 1,000,000% honest.
1,000,000%. I started, we have 2 golf cart paths. One goes north, one goes south at the lake. I started by setting, okay, I'm going to walk to this point.
Okay.
And might have been a 3-kilometer walk, maybe. And I mean, I was huffing and I was puffing.
Yep.
I've done a few of Marissa's workouts and your workouts.
Okay.
I walk.
Yeah.
I walk. I average maybe 5 kilometers. I love being outside. The fresh air, it clears my mind.
Yeah.
Quite often you walk with me in my head. Podcasts, praise music, whatever. I do simple things. Very like I'm never going to be the buff fit or the buff bodybuilder type. I don't want that.
Right.
But I want to be fit and I want to be there for my grandkids. I sit up some light weights. None of your videos are hard. Well, no. They're hard, but they're not.
They're doable.
Like, oh my gosh, I can't do this.
Right.
But I started with, I don't know if it was tennis elbow or whatever, but that's what it was like. And I remember sending Marissa a message and going, what do I do? I couldn't lift anything with my left hand.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, let's try this, this, and this. There's modifications.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not like, I might walk an hour a day, but I'm not like power walking.
Right.
I'm just walking. And
that's what I want people to hear. I think people think they have to kill themselves. Like, you literally started by just stepping out your front door and going for a walk, and you're 60 pounds down. Guys, yes. And I want you to hear that again and again and again. This doesn't have to be painful. It doesn't have to be hard. It might be challenging. Like you said, you were huffing and puffing a little bit, but it wasn't anything monumental, right? It wasn't anything like you didn't have to go join a gym. You didn't have to get you didn't have to buy any equipment. You didn't have to do anything.
I have a 5-pound weight.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, if on my tracker on my watch, it says maybe 30 minutes and you're like, dang, I thought I worked out much longer, but it likely isn't more than 30 minutes. Correct. You know, yeah. I do some squats, some sit-ups, a few arm exercises. It's not anything huge.
Right. And that's the point. I think people get it. You said this earlier. You said we convince ourselves that if it's not hard, it won't work. And I think as humans, we do that in a bunch of scenarios and situations. We're like, and one of my theories is this. I think when we make things so big and so hard, then if we find excuses as to why we can't do them, then nobody ever says, well, they're like, oh my gosh, that was so hard. Well, of course you didn't have success, right? But when we really simplify things, we kind of take the excuses out of it. And it's like, oh crap. Like, now it's just really me making this simple decision, like to walk outside my front door, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And it's simple.
What's your food been like? Like, let me ask you this.
Like?
You didn't have to like go on this crazy, like diet where you starving yourself and like I was only letting you have like 3 drops of water and a half a bite of lettuce a day. Are you sure?
Yes. I've eaten anything really I wanted.
Yeah.
Let's put it this, between my husband dying and starting this, I would have said I didn't eat much.
Right.
But I can tell you what I did now in hindsight was eat a lot of crap.
Yeah.
It wasn't fuel.
It was mindless, right?
Some days I wouldn't eat hardly at all, and you'd run through McDonald's.
Yeah.
So it was crap I was putting in, Other days I was a 3 cookie person. Can't have 1, have to have 3.
Yeah.
So someone asked me if I went through a lot of sugar detox, and I would have been a carboholic. Yeah. Definitely. Hands down. I don't remember even that being hard, Jay.
Yeah.
I was at the lake when I started the program. I fed my kids every weekend. They were out, the family, we barbecued, everything. I just got a little more aware of what I was putting in.
Yeah.
And I've always been a meat person. I guess sugar, yes. Chocolate, baking. But I just started to add a few good things, add more veggies.
Let me ask you this. Have you felt deprived and starved?
Not a thing. And I've had people go, oh, well, it's your daughter's birthday. Well, yeah, it is. So I'm having, we had pizza. Great. Had pizza. My grandson's birthday. When your grandson says, Jamma Jill, are you having cake? You're having cake.
Sure.
So I had cake. It didn't throw me in the least.
Yeah.
I am trying to make mindful decisions 95% of the time.
I think that's the key, right? Because it's just about getting more mindful and intentional with your life. You know what I mean? And then the other stuff becomes a side effect. It's like when you start living life instead of simply just surviving life, which is, I think, whenever we met, you were kind of like in survival mode.
I was in definite survival mode. Yeah.
And now you're kind of like coming out into like thriving mode. And it's like, well, this is pretty awesome. Like, this isn't even that, this doesn't have to be that hard. Like, it can almost be fun.
It is. It's interesting. It's eye-opening. It's fun. And for me, being alone now and through COVID times here, there's been a lot of times I don't talk to anyone or I don't see anyone, but the food isn't the issue now.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm going to start my day with a good smoothie.
Yeah.
Which I happen to be addicted to. Water I've always loved water. Add your BCAAs, and I'm off the charts with those. It just made it easy. I kind of plan day by day because I don't cook a whole lot ahead of time.
Yeah.
But it's just me. I have time to cook.
Totally.
I don't work. I'm very blessed. But I do plan like for the next day. So I know, okay, I'm going to start with a smoothie one and I learned to intermittent fast, which I wouldn't have had a clue. What was that you were talking about? I'm like, he wants me to go without food for how long? I'm thinking days here.
No.
Like, does he want us to do a week? And you explain it so simply. It's like, so now the kitchen closes for me between 6 and 7 somewhere.
Yeah.
In the summer, it was 7 out at the lake because everything's just dependent on what we're doing out on the water.
Right.
And it's easy. And you just tell yourself, kitchen's closed.
Right. I love that.
We
got an awesome question. I think this is great. So Jennifer wants me to ask you, has this process helped your mental health, anxiety, and depression? I know, I think the question is, I know I deal with a lot of that simply because I hate this, that I hate myself and my unhealthy body. First of all, let me address that, Jennifer, please. Don't hate yourself, buddy. Like, that is no reason. I don't care what your physical body looks like. You do not hate yourself, and we need to change that language a little bit. We got to get you loving yourself, and that will be vastly transformational in your process, and we can get that body healthy again. So don't feel that way. So Jill, I'm going to turn it off to you. How has this process helped you, like with anxiety, depression, just like, all the, the stresses and overwhelm that you were feeling before?
I'm off antidepressants.
Shut
I
up.
had been on them. Oh yeah, I've been off them. Yeah, I guess I never put that in there. I know what depression's like. My mental health, I kind of freak people out now because I'm pretty happy.
So you were on antidepressants, and now since starting with this process and this program and working with me, you're now no longer on antidepressants.
Yeah, no.
That is phenomenal. I want to give you a virtual hug just for that, because that's a really, really powerful thing that I think a lot of people need to hear, because I think people think that they're stuck with those forever, and they're not. Well,
another thing I was addicted to was sleeping pills.
Okay.
And totally kicked those to the curb. I do use some melatonin spray, but I sleep like a log now. And I'm going to attribute a lot of that to journaling.
Okay.
To me, journaling has been the eye opener. And I hate to see that she said she hates herself.
Me too.
I actually, my heart breaks, because for Jennifer, when I saw those pictures posted of myself, I wasn't sure I was going to do this. It was like, oh shit, what did I just do? I put this out there for the world. But you know what I realized? People could see me. Just because maybe I didn't see where I was at, people still could physically see me. I might have been lying to myself where I'd gotten to, but it wasn't like I was hiding from the world.
Yeah.
And even the numbers kind of freak you when you put them in a public forum. And it's like, no, if I can help one person, I would much rather do that. Like, my mental health has gone so much more. My kids, it's funny. Even my son-in-laws have gone, we're so proud of you. Oh. And I don't think they know what that does to me.
Yeah.
I'm just happier. And like I said, I thought I was a pretty happy person.
Right.
I was. I loved my life. It got taken away from me. So I'm starting a new life.
Yep.
It's round 2, I guess. But without antidepressants, I don't have any side effects from those. I get up every day, and some days you're like, oh, damn, I miss him. And that's okay. I'm allowed to. But I still get up and I seize the day. It's like, maybe I can help someone today. Maybe I can encourage someone today. Maybe I'm just having a day. And I take it as it comes. It's not the end of the world. But the slow little steps I took, like you say, little hinges swing big doors.
Yes, ma'am.
I took little step after little step, and it changed me.
How does it feel not to be grateful. How does it feel not to be on those antidepressants anymore? Like, just from just your.
It feels amazing.
Yeah.
Like I literally take nothing. I take some vitamins.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't take any drugs anymore that are prescribed by a doctor.
I think that's phenomenal. Like I said earlier, I mean, I didn't even know that you were on antidepressants and sleeping pills and those types of things. But I can tell you that June of 2020 to whatever today is, November of almost 2020, who you show up as, and like your interactions with me have just even drastically changed. Like, even listen, we still all have bad days, right? But now you're able to see that day and then know that it's still going to be okay. You've got the tools and the strategies and the support and the accountability that doesn't matter what the day throws at you, you can get through it.
I can get through
I'm proud
it.
of you, man.
Oh, thank you. I'm proud of myself. And that's
Good.
something that's not easy to say, but I'm learning. Am I there yet? No. Do I have crappy days? Yep. Do I want to get out of bed this morning and walk on my treadmill? No. Did I start? And all of a sudden it's like, yeah, this feels good. Your body's moving. You're alive.
Yeah.
I look at life as something very precious. And as long as I get to, I am showing up for my kids. That's my number one motivation.
Yeah.
Is I will never put them through that kind of pain again.
Good.
And I want to show up. I have some, you asked what was next. I don't have anything in the near future that I'm working on some goals.
Good.
I have to think. I don't willy-nilly. We do our power moves.
Mm-hmm.
I really put a lot of thought into them because I don't just want to willy-nilly them.
No.
But I have some for the summer. I haven't water skied. My kids have seen me once. I will be up. I'm 54 years old and I will be up this next summer.
No doubt in my mind.
And I will be the grandma who is tubing with her grandchildren.
Aww, that's cool.
And
See, those are fantastic goals.
And as for, I don't know, I'm excited to see where I'm going to go.
Good. That's important. I think that speaks a lot to like your mental health, right? You're now excited about life again. And I think that's really important.
I'm excited about life. My other goal, I guess, I've decided I can't fly to Palm Springs right now since we're locked down up here.
All right.
But I'm going to walk there. So I'll let you know when I make it.
Good. Let me know. Set that number and go get it. Before we jump into our next question from Amanda, I want to say, Jennifer, I need you to hear me when I say this, and I need you to listen to what Jill just said. Wherever you are right now, I promise you it will get better. It can get better. And if whatever help you need, you let me know, you let us know, and we will provide you with that support and accountability and all the things you need. But it breaks my heart to see you say that about yourself. And I want to help you fix that. So next question is from Amanda. She said, what would you like to say to those that don't believe that they can do it? They don't believe they can, they see themselves as something they don't believe they'll never not be, or that they have like a limiting belief about like, I'm too old, I'm too this, I'm too that. Like, what would you say to those people?
Well, first of all, if I could do it, anyone can. It's just little steps. You have to learn. I didn't think I could breathe again. I didn't think I'd survive. But I have. I've learned with the tools. I've learned to have hope. I have faith. I have love. I find joy in the little things. What we put in our head, you've taught us so well, is really amazing. Either we put garbage in and we feel like garbage, or we put good stuff in. I was amazed at how little TV I've been watching, which was a good way to numb days.
Yeah.
Like I would lose days just sitting in front of the TV and doing nothing. And I don't do that. I have a notebook, and I said to my kids, I need a new notebook. Like I make a list and it's everything I want to get done,
right,
sort of thing. And as I stroke it off, I rip that page out and I make a new list, and it's little things. And with each little step I have tackled, you stand a little taller, you feel a little prouder of yourself. You just have to do one little step after another. You don't have to eat the whole thing at once.
Yeah. I think
it's too much.
The way I like to look is you're living on purpose again. Like your life now has a purpose, and it's not to sit on a couch and watch a television screen. What would you say to somebody who is in that place? Like that's where they're kind of numbing themselves with food and television, because you were there. What made you make the decision? I know Amanda was a big catalyst in that because you saw her. But what would you say to someone who doesn't have an Amanda that can look to? Like how were you able to say yes to yourself in that moment, right? When you said yes to Ignite 2.0, because it had to be scary.
It was scary. Scary as all get out. I've failed at so many things in my life. What would I say? Oh, that you're worth it. You are so worth it. We're all worth it. And no matter how scared you are, just to take the step. Join us on this next 5-week journey. I feel like even if you just watch the videos, sit in on the training calls, you're going to change. Yeah. You can not change. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, I wasn't sure I was going to be all in Ignite 0.20 because it was going to be too hard.
Yeah.
But I wanted it. So in doing that, it's just amazing.
Yeah. I think what something else too is like, I'll speak for myself and for the program, and Jill, you can corroborate this. Like, I don't lose, right? I don't believe in losing, and I will do everything in my power to make you win, to help you win. And I won't, I don't quit. Like I don't quit on people. I don't let, I show up 24/7, 365. And so that's something I can guarantee you. And that's something a lot of people have never had in their life, is a coach or a mentor that believes in them.
Yeah. And I think that's it. You're not a willy-nilly guy in a fitness gym. You are actually someone who cares. Marissa, I have sent messages, and I don't think I've waited 5 minutes for most of the responses on them. You guys are there.
Yeah.
And it's simple stuff. You've simplified it down. You've taken all the noise out of it. You've made it easy to understand. And that's what I responded to, I think. You weren't telling me I had to eat this, this, and this. Literally, I don't think you and I've had a conversation about food.
Mm-mm. And you've lost over 60 pounds, people. Listen to that. I haven't told you one time to eat a kale salad.
You haven't told No, you haven't told me to eat anything. In our Thrive booklet, you sent a food list with suggestions, but it's not like I get a mad, angry emoji going, what the heck did you post that picture of? Like, there was nothing about, like you say, we know what is good and what is bad.
Of course.
I really responded to the, like, look at the label. If it's got more than 4 or 5 ingredients, like, what are you doing? And if I can't spell them or even say them, why am I eating them?
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. If you can't pronounce something, don't eat it. Right. So yeah,
I'm embarrassed. I love what you said
about simplifying the process. I think that's a key word there. Simplification.
Yeah. You've got recipes for us. I've used some. I've made up my own. I'm kind of like you. I'm realizing I'm a little ritualistic, and I could just kind of continue eating the same thing. I don't need a lot of variety in my life.
Right.
Just give me some salad and some veggies and some meat, and I'm great. But there's ideas. Marissa's ideas on pumpkin spice. I'm now addicted to pumpkin spice.
Good.
Smoothies.
Tis the season.
'Tis the season, right? We need some eggnog ideas next.
Well, she'll get them done.
She'll come up with them. But it's just so freeing. Like, it was so freeing. I think what I was so shocked is you weren't lecturing us on the food aspect.
Right. You
were lecturing on my mindset, and you had to drill a few things home pretty hard a couple times.
That's okay.
Gently nudge.
Tiffany's got an awesome question for you. She said, what new habit that are you currently doing that you never thought you would do? Like, what's something you're doing now that you never thought you would do before you started this journey?
Well, if you ever told me I'd do a plank, much less incorporated into every day, that would be one. What else do I do? Oh, that's a hard one. I've got so many new habits. It's like my whole life became a new habit.
What's one of them that's a good thing? You created a whole new lifestyle for yourself. What's one thing you can think of right now that she said, what brings you joy? Like in this process, it's one of the things you really kind of look forward to doing. You mentioned journaling earlier and some stuff like that, but
journaling brings me joy. Encouraging others.
Oh, that's a good one.
That one brings me great amounts of joy. And especially, I don't limit it just to our Thrive group.
Good.
I really, it literally is like, Lord, please tell me who to encourage today. Who needs a word of encouragement?
Yeah.
You know, and I was listening, I don't know if it was your podcast this week, but taking it more than just, hey, hi.
Right.
Like I'm trying to go, hey, you know what? Because my daughter has young kids, I know her friends, and it's like, you are an awesome mom. I am so proud of how you're handling all this. You know, take it a little further than just, hey, thinking of you.
Right. Yeah, celebrating someone
people,
and recognizing them. Yeah, recognizing their gifts and the things that they bring value to the world, I think is really powerful. Mm-hmm. That's something we kind of do in our private group that a lot of people may not know kind of what we're talking about. I just want to bring some clarity around that because we mentioned it a couple of times. In my Thrive Forever Fit program, one of our core principles is we encourage at least 3 people every day. And the reason we do that is because of the boomerang effect. What we put out into the world, that encouragement, Jill said it earlier, the encouragement that she gets back from that is tenfold. And that is so powerful. And that's how we're really big in everything that I do. I'm big on creating culture and community and us being the change that we want to see in the world. Positive, powerful, empathetic, just amazing, awesome humans. And so that's what we're talking about when Jill says the encouragement piece of kind of our work together.
Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to take it one step further. And this is something I've felt during these times. I can go days without talking to anyone or hearing another person's voice. So I'm trying to make one of those a phone call.
I love that.
Like actually, because I miss it. I miss having someone to talk to, Yeah. And there's lots of people out there who likely, for whatever reasons, with COVID, whatever, are isolated. They need to hear someone's voice, actually.
I agree.
Not just send a text. Texting is so easy, I find nowadays, but sometimes it's nice to hear an actual voice and be encouraged that way.
It's a big thing. We need, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to do this program, the Ignite 3.0, this time of year, and why I decided to take it all the way to the end of the year. I feel like we need communication and connection and love and empathy and support more than ever. And yes, we're going to talk about your relationships with food inside of that program, but it's going to go so much deeper than that, guys. If I could really tell you what's going to happen, first of all, you wouldn't believe me. I mean, Jill's living proof of that. You wouldn't believe what I'm going to tell you that's going to happen, the transformations. I keep saying it's going to be life-changing. And I think you're seeing a living, breathing example of what life-changing really looks like. And it's going to be amazing. You're going to be supported not only by me and not only by Marissa and not only by Jill, but by people that you've never even met before that live in a completely different part of the country or maybe even the world. We've got people from all over the world that are going to be in Ignite, guys. So I don't care where you live. You're going to be supported and loved. I'm going to say more than you ever have been. I'm not talking about your family or your kids or your husband. I'm talking about from people that you've never even met are going to love you and take care of you and help you and support you. And it's going to be a game changer for you. Jill, last question. What would you tell somebody right now they're sitting in front of their computer, they're listening to you, they're listening on replay later, their fingers on the button are getting ready to join Ignite 3.0, and they're having second thoughts? Like, what would you tell that person?
I'd tell them, do it. You waste more money on stupid stuff, so spend it on yourself this time. I'm a great one on spending money. So best money I've ever spent. Aww. And it isn't even that much money.
Like, I don't take that lightly either. I take that very seriously, and I appreciate you saying that, because I mean, I just want to show up for you guys, and I want to see you all win. And I think that's the big takeaway for me, is I want you guys to win.
And it's such a loving, supportive, caring spot to land. And for me, that's what I found. I landed somewhere safe that I could learn to grow again.
That's so cool.
I landed in a safe spot. And for anyone who's hesitating, well, I'm not in Palm Springs. I'm not in the desert. I'm not in the area. I'm in Canada.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with feet of snow here.
Yep.
I have not been blessed with being able to go to a workout with you guys or anything. So it can be done anywhere in the world.
So true.
It's the support, it's the communication, it's the family, it's the bonding that lifts you up so much that it doesn't matter where you are, you're going to win.
I love that. Jill, thank you so much for doing this. I mean, I think this is something that people need to hear. I mean, it's easy for me to get up here and talk about how you guys are amazing and everything, but I think when people hear it from someone who's actually walked in their shoes, right, have done been where they are, I think it's life-changing. And I just want to thank you for being vulnerable and doing this for people, because I know it is a little bit scary to share your story and put yourself out there and all those things, but I think you're amazing. I love you. I know everybody in the group that knows you loves you. And I just want to say thank you for doing this today.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a little unnerving in that, but if I can just help one person with my story, I will tell it to anyone and share anything I can with them.
I love that.
Anyone ever wants to reach out, I'm here. Like, all our stories are different. I'm not there yet, but I'm on my way, and I'm excited to see where life takes me.
I love that. Jill, I'm going to move you down to the bottom of the screen. Don't go anywhere, because I want to give you a proper goodbye before we go. Guys, don't go anywhere. I'm going to just give you guys some little parting remarks. Guys, thank you so much for spending your time with me and Jill and Marissa and the entire crew. We've got one more day of the food fight tomorrow. We are going live at 10 o'clock. You're going to hear another amazing story from my client, Joanne, who I call JoJo. So JoJo's going to come on, and she and I are going to have a talk just like Jill and I had today. You're going to hear another phenomenal but very different transformational story about someone who started exactly where you are. So if you're on the fence, guys, and you have any questions, Marissa's going to be available after this call to answer those questions. Click the link, Ignite 3.0. Marissa's going to post it probably all over the page by now. If you're worried about your weight, guys, if you're thinking about your weight, if it's something that even crosses your mind on a daily basis, this is the program that's going to be transformational for you. So I'd love to have you. I'd love to have the opportunity to help you change your life. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We'll be right back here. Thank you guys so much for participating, watching. If you're watching on replay, put hashtag replay for me. Guys, I love you. Thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right, bye.